Alright everybody, welcome back. Bulldog Hero plays Stanley Parable 2. And we're doing our bucket
All of his
endings
co-workers
again.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
Bucket.
he had simply missed the
Bucket.
good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Yes, we are.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright, let's go. Let's see, stairs, something to do with stairs. We're probably going to do that one right now. Red and blue we'll do later. We're almost done with the left side, everybody. Almost done. In fact, I think
Coming to a
this is the
staircase,
last one.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Right here.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've
more.
nearly gotten all of the Figler Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one.
Terrible
And
name.
then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Marines. None of us can.
Figler Anarines. Whatever. Alright.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley.
I remember this one.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. Well, that's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is
a
all
replacement
terribly
bucket.
wrong. Surely no good would come from this.
Where'd the bucket
Who
go?
knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations
bucket!
Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence
lost
of his
it again.
bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed.
Whoa.
Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from.
From
The
inside.
real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him.
If only.
Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself.
I need to get
my
myself a
life
bucket.
kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Oh, good for her. Alright. We have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 endings with the buckets so far. It's good. We're almost done with the left. In fact,
All of
I
his
think we are
co-workers were
done with
gone.
left.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to
One
go
other
to
one
the
I wanna
meeting room.
try.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked.
Hi,
Stanley
Bucket.
just smiled.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
We're gonna escape it with the bucket.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There
only
was
there was a
so
skip
much
button.
it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
Yeah, it got dark.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
What's happening?
My God, Stanley.
No!
You did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless.
Poor bucket.
You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away
This was a
inside of
hilarious
it.
ending. Gotta mark that down as out of map with bucket. Now I wonder. Oh no, I don't think I can do coward ending with it, but we can try because the door's gonna close the second I leave, right?
All of his
Yeah,
co-workers
so
were
can't
gone.
do that ending.
What could it mean?
All right.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had a good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket,
One
a bucket
second.
of culture and distinction. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I don't think I could do heaven ending. I'll double check. I'll do that another video with the bucket. I think I'm ready to do right door endings. There's something called an elevator ending. I don't know how to get that yet. I'm probably gonna have to read a little bit like how to start that one up. But I think we're ready to do right door adventures now. So let's get started.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
I've already done this, right? Yeah, I went to the vent. And what did the vent have? It had the narrator talking. That's right. Can I bring the bucket in there? Is that an ending with the bucket? I want to and I don't. I don't want to repeat it. I'll do it another time on my own. And I'm not going to kill myself here, so I'm going to start again from the beginning here. Or should I kill myself here and just get it over with? We're here. Let's do it.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death,
This was
that they might
powerful.
die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Okay. And then there's another ending that I haven't gotten on the right side.
All of
without
his
the
co-workers
bucket.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm gonna do it without the bucket just so I can get that ending. So let's try that.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes.
What a
this
room. Yes.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
So
left.
we're already here at the storage. It's very easy to get. I thought I already had it.
Stanley was
Did
so
not.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years
Okey
ago.
doke. This. You okey doke. This. Boom.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it. Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
And that's it. That's called the cold feet ending. So that's that one. I got it. Boom. Now we could do... I don't know. Do you want to do cold feet with the bucket? I
All of
wanna
his
say
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes. Wink.
The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind.
The bucket was wrong.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Okay.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Oh.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Should I answer it now? No. This is... I'm going to do like sort of the same route I did in the beginning. Bloop.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
It's hilarious.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
That's right, we're watching a video now. Boop.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's
All right.
dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, In all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary.
Okay.
When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny now. Oh, I didn't have to say now. But I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good.
Oh.
This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy.
Like looking
Finally,
sideways.
it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
What is going on in this world?
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with
I'm
more
about to get the
appropriate
last
comedic
figurine.
delivery. Come along, let's head back.
And I could get the Zen ending too. Right? Oh, is this not the way for the Zen ending? I forgot. I forgot what ending this was.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure.
You're not the king.
The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke.
Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
That's right, this makes me go back to... Is this the game's ending? This might be the game's ending. Shoot, I forgot how to get the red and blue door ending. Wow, there's so much of this game I'm lost already.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I sure didn't.
What? We're back at the phone already? Oh, no, what's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land, or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think
I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my...
Is that the ending?
Here we go.
Oh.
You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
No, I remember that. And phone.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What? Here we go.
Breaking the
You
game.
ready? When
like the
Stanley
first
and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
No.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What?
Alright, the game's broken enough now.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone.
I did that.
Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you...
There it is.
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I
come that
heard
Stanley
you
doesn't
are
have a bucket?
pale with shame over how unabashedly
Poor
in love
Stanley.
with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're
I
getting away from
appreciated that one.
making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
That's the end. Awesome. That was the not Stanley ending. Alright. We're knocking him down.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door...
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker.
This
In
time I'm
time,
gonna answer
perhaps,
the phone.
he would become both of those things.
Stanley clutched
That
the
other
bucket
Stanley's still
tightly
up
to
there.
his chest.
And this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
How dare you, Bucky?
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope, not yet.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
I should
the
see
cargo
cold feet
lift,
with
yes.
the bucket.
Go
Let's do that
there.
first.
Go to the cog.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket.
Yes, I
Did
do.
you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices? It's true. You can fall on a bucket from literally any height and survive.
Oh, really?
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
It's the same ending, just with a bucket. That was Cold Feet ending with a bucket. We're nailing him, everybody. We're nailing him.
All of his co-workers were
Now we're
gone.
gonna answer the phone.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait a minute. Usually it's a right turn. It's backwards. Usually it's a right turn. There's something special when that happens, I think.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow.
That was
Very
different.
lucky
That was
indeed.
really different. The game tried messing with me there, and it did.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket
Anyone else
calling to him,
like
telling
realize
him
that? I
the
thought it'd be more.
employee
Maybe I was
lounge
supposed to do
was simply
something.
the place to be.
Huh.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Still wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, says the bucket.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need
The
you to
game's
do.
ending is this way.
Stanley
as
did
well
not
as the
question
Zen
why
ending.
or how this bucket was
Sending.
speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Boop.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
And now we're answering.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Boop. Oh,
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home where we can go about life together.
here we go. We're gonna see our wife Dolores? Or is our wife gonna be the bucket?
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Honey, I'm home. 427. I played the demo. Oh, I didn't play the demo. I should have. But I didn't want to be spoiled. Honey? Hello? Oh, bucket! What it be?
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Take me back home.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal
setup.
object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively
Stanley.
transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything
Oh, they made
else.
it that way. You can't leave here. Don't listen to the loud man. Press T to go back home. Oh,
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket.
Where's my
this
bucket?
stupid hunk of metal.
oh, there it is.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket.
Bucket?
This sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Bucket! Bucket, where are you? Maybe I should call the bucket Bucky. Bucky! Bucky, where are you? Oh, Bucky, there you are. I believe you're real.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more,
Let's watch
what am I
TV,
trying to
Bucky.
say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
The same day over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
I'm having feelings for the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I
Bucket's
want
trying
to
to
be
woo me?
with the bucket? Hear what the
Wow,
bucket has to say.
hey,
Do
Bucky.
anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand.
Moving kinda fast, aren't we?
Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The
All right,
bucket
come
could
here.
tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket.
No, it's
give
my
it to me.
bucket.
Give me the bucket, Stanley.
My
I
bucket.
need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or
Close your
I'll...
eyes. Go back to work, Stanley. Alright. Well, we got the apartment ending with the bucket. Boom. Let's see how long this video been. I still got another time for another ending. Let's go.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room.
Boop.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I think
But
I have
Stanley
enough
had
time
felt
for
the
maybe
bucket
2
calling
endings,
to
because
him,
I'm definitely
telling
gonna get
him
the
that the
figures.
employee lounge
Figure
was
ending.
simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left
Not
to go
yet.
back to the meeting
That'll be
room.
next episode.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
We're gonna get the game
Stanley
ending.
did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
we go.
He was firmly
One more
convinced that the
time.
bucket had spoken to him, and
Everybody's
he
feeling fine.
unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Except I didn't.
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game
Oh, it
if not
could.
addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
Yeah, yeah.
Please,
Oh.
step in here for a moment.
Okay. Are we gonna play like a sortie?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
I'm gonna answer truthfully.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
I don't know, everybody. My first time on a game show. Honored to be here. It's a little stressful now that I'm, here. Is this a bucket? Yes. Oh,
Incorrect. It is
What?
a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
it got me.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Well, after the last one, fooling me that it's a hologram. Am I allowed to leave the stage and take a look at it? Oh no, I'm not. Okay. Oh, you're making this hard on me. Is this a bucket? I'm gonna say no.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
We got one, everybody. What's happening? Oh, there we go.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
This reminds me of that one show. Is it cake? I'm not allowed to go up there. If only they gave me a timer too. You know what? I'm gonna say this one is a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket.
We got 2 right, everybody. We got 2. We know what buckets are.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
I feel like this is a trick question. It's the obvious answer is no. Oh, good.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme. But I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay,
Cool.
Next one.
There it goes. Bye. Oh,
Is this a bucket?
yes.
Correct. This is a bucket.
How? How is that a bucket?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
You know what? Straight answer. Yes.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Oh. How so? Explain it. Oh, I guess not.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere.
No.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, good.
There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think?
Yes.
Answer me
that's
straight,
exactly,
Stanley.
Yes.
Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Everything can be a bucket.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
You're a bucket of blood.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay.
No.
Here we go.
No, I still need one more bucket ending. No, not again.
What happened? Is everything gone?
You just
Why
reset
did
the
everything
game.
disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
Everything's a
This
bucket.
is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what. I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
Here we go. So is it still going to be called Stanley Parable 2? Or is it back to Ultra Deluxe? I hope he didn't reset. The bucket's right there. Everything's different. It's still the sequel. Alright. Grabbing the
Stanley
bucket.
cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace. Protective, yet delicate. Assertive, yet
I
compassionate.
think... No, I don't have time to do another ending right now. But this went straight to this. I don't know what to do. You know what? I'll save this for the next video, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if it'll even take me to this point. I gotta continue.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and
Okay.
entered the door on it. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
It took me straight
But
there.
Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better? No, never mind.
Alright.
The bucket was wrong.
So if I'm
Stanley
right,
took
I
the
think
door
one
on
of
his
the last
left to
bucket
go
endings I
back to
need
the
is
meeting room. And so the
this.
two of them detoured through the maintenance section
No, this
and walked
ending.
straight ahead to the
No,
opposite
there is
door.
no ending. I didn't get a chance to go left or right door. It was just the game, the bucket game. So this is my last right door ending, I believe, with the bucket.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
Things that
It's
care
this
about me.
bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable.
Burn.
It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
I like the bucket.
Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
Yes.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
I do, but I'm taking the bucket with me. Stop looking at me, baby. All right.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Well, no. I'm not giving up the bucket. If that's what you want. The bucket goes wherever I go. In the words of Anakin, its fate will be the same as ours.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable.
Nope.
True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
Nope.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No, I'm not. Can I turn it off?
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket.
No.
I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want.
I'm not giving up
Hurry
the bucket. Ooh.
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
There it goes. The Bucket Destroyer. I would never use such a thing. Alright, and I will end the video here. Looks like I might have to go back there one more time and feed the bucket to it. I don't know. I'll look that up. That way I don't waste anyone's time and go there and waste, ending time. But as always, thank you for watching, everybody. And thanks for watching Stanley Parable 2 with Bulldog and the Bucket. Later, everybody.